That's the colors from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good morning and welcome to the end of summer edition of the board meeting of the Columbia Economic Development Corporation. I'm glad you all could join us. We have a busy agenda here. And we're going to begin with the loan committee. The loan committee is rudderless without the Ken Leggett's chairmanship. As you know, he's resigned. We'll talk more about that vacancy in a little while. I'll call on Martha Lee, if you could start us off on the loan activity.
Yes, I'm happy to. Loan planning, as you know, we've been arrears and I don't have any updated information. Loan client B is in arrears, but they sent us a check monthly and we have with us late fees and we're hoping that might nudge him along. Loan client C, I don't have an update, and loan client D is a regular pain in the neck, and yet if we find it hard enough, he eventually sends us a check.
Any questions or comments on the loan portfolio? If none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. We have one loan request for the board's consideration.
Good morning, everybody. So this is the loan request of River Den Shop LLC located here in Hudson. They're a retail establishment. Request of us was $50,000 that we will, of course, split between our two loan funds. Monthly payment being $871. Interest rate of 7.75%. Purpose of the loan: purchase of an existing business and some working capital. Our collateral being the lien on business assets, and of course, the personal guarantee of the principal. This is River Den Shop here in Hudson.
Any stated questions, comments?
The one thing I picked up on, and that kind of struck me, was I right, $230,000 of student loans?
In deferment for another year, yes.
She recertifies every year.
Okay.
We've seen higher,
Really?
yes.
High enough for me.
Thanks. Other questions, concerns? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Loan request is granted. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
And we are on to the governance and nominating committee report, and for that, we go to Rachel.
Yep, we met this month, and as we all know, Ken Leggett resigned. He was also the chair of the loan committee. The committee met and recommends Justin Goldman as the new chairman of the loan committee. So we will need board approval for that. So if there are any questions, comments, or
That's gonna be a big stretch for him, huh?
the good fit.
Hope he doesn't wear his green eye shade.
Is there a motion to approve Justin Goldman as the new chair of the loan committee?
I'll make the motion.
I'll
Thank you,
second.
Rachel.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. So we have that loan committee chair vacancy position filled. And a lesson for all of us, show up for meetings, because you never know what you're gonna get appointed to.
A Navy volunteer,
Surprise.
who's not here today, but knows that this
He
is
knows,
happening,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, moving on in the agenda, the committee charter review. There were no changes to this. This is annual housekeeping for us to present and review, and not sure if everyone has read through or has any comments or questions. If there are no questions or edits, we are looking to approve this, so we'll need a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Rick.
Second.
Thank you, Brian. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So carried, thank you. And then next up on the agenda, we are presenting on page 9. This is the draft meeting schedule. Really looking for everyone to take a look and put it into your calendars and see if there are any issues with it that we've missed, but also we are not voting on this today. We're really just sharing it FYI and to hopefully have everyone put it on their calendars so they can make it to meetings. And next on the agenda is membership, which I think I'm gonna pass this over to.
And Mike, I'm gonna
Mike.
pass it in.
Okay, yeah,
We're looking at two things, one membership for the open seats. And on board, and then Riley and I have been getting ready to put together a membership plan. On what I always call the New Year's Eve of the business world, the Labor Day. So we have something in place, so we wouldn't be behind the 8 ball in terms of getting out letters and solicitations and asking for board involvement and follow up. What Riley did prepare for us in the packet on page 12 is a list of our current members and sponsors. And you can see we're at 38,750. I'd like to see us get to $60,000 in the 2025 budget. So one of the things that we look at is our membership is 2,500, 1,500, 750, 250, and 125 for startups or loan clients. When you look at that pyramid, obviously to the extent that we could add 2 or 3 businesses in the 2 top categories gets you almost halfway to the goal. And but more importantly, in terms of identifying potential candidates for our board, and Lisa, we have how many open seats? 2?
2, 3, is it 3 now with
3,
10? It's
3.
3.
One of the discussions at the governance committee was, well, who are members, who are our supporters, who are people who have expressed an interest and a commitment to the organization with dollars, who may be interested in participating on the board. So we did provide this list, ask you to go through it, and to the extent that either based on knowledge of the community or personal friendship or business relationships with any of the members listed, notify myself, Jim, or Rachel of people that you might want to consider before you reach out to them, and we can either give you some history if there is any, or coordinate that process. The other side of this is we do have extensive prospect lists. And we generally send out about 300 letters a year. Usually the board chair and I sign them, personalize them. But Jane Golub was alive and was active in charities in the capital region. She put a smiley face. We don't do that, but we try to make them look like they weren't mimeographed and just sent out without any thought. I think our biggest issue is we don't want to compete with the chambers, so that our price is a little higher. I think that you can see that a number of businesses prefer to do sponsorships because they can put it in their advertising budget as opposed to the corporate citizenship budget, which doesn't happen as much. I think also, when we have 70% of our businesses under 10 employees, the pool of people at the higher level is small, which is why I think we can, with a focused effort, identify additional people at the 1,500 and 2,500.
That's what I was gonna ask, is that how membership rate is determined by employee size?
No.
Oh, no.
No, it's just whatever you're willing to give.
Oh, okay.
Chambers usually do it by employee size.
Yeah.
But, so I think people at the higher level know that we're getting $460,000 a year from the county and they kind of, well, I gave it at the office, or I gave through my tax dollars. I also think it's something, a lot of people don't know what we do or how we do it or why we do it. And, I know that was something that we were talking about, beyond membership in terms of, in addition to a subcommittee on membership, perhaps a subcommittee on marketing. You know, I think sometimes, even Board of Supervisor members are unaware of our, loan fund activity, which is why Steve and Martha put together the charts that show over the last 10 years, we've done $5.8 million in loans to 270 plus small businesses in the county. You know, over the last, the same period, you know, we've done over $1 million in grants between, the Galvin Minority Grant, the Berkshire Deconic COVID grants, and the $600,000 for the 2 rounds of grants from the county. One of the dangers of marketing that program is a surge of people coming looking for loans without the capacity to necessarily process them. We have talked in the past about announcing either twice a year or 4 times a year a loan program. CEDC announced today a $250,000 loan program for widget makers. If people in the widget making business show up, great. If they don't, you roll that into the press release for the next 250. We have to now get close to $500,000 a year on the street in new loans to be able to stay evergreen and to not lose traction with how much we have available to lend. And that's, you know, at $50,000 a loan, you know, that's one thing, but when you're doing $25,000 in each loan fund, you know, that's 2 to 3 loans a month. And, you know, again, I think that, you know, that's an area where grow. We've gone now from 80 to 100 to budgeting $120,000 in interest from our loan fund. Right now, I believe we have approximately Steve, what, $1.5 million available to lend? If it's not committed. And again, you don't want to put money on the street faster than you get it back, because if you did, take a year off from doing loans because it was only comes back. But on 5 to 7 year schedules, it comes back pretty quickly. I guess, you know, raising our visibility in a way that doesn't seem self-promoting, but at the same time, giving people a better sense of what we do. I know for a while, people thought all we did was help, you know, inside baseball types get loans and grants. But, you know, we've helped anyone that came in off the street with a loan or grant. I've done a preliminary budget for 2026 in connection with county funding. I do think we need to increase our fees to both the city and county IDA. Right now, we get $12,000 a year for the administrative side, and 10% of any IDA fee up to $10,000. You know, they're getting a $250,000 IDA fee. We've done a lot of work. You know, the administrative fee covers the cost of the meetings, and the work we do with the developers in terms of getting the project approved and closed is worth more. So we're looking at that. Did ask the county for an additional $40,000. And that, along with the income that we will get from the land bank, will enable us to continue focusing on housing. You know, when you look at the marketing, some of the things we do, whether it's broadband, housing, childcare, many instances, we're doing those at the direction of the county. So really, you know, we should be marketing the county's role in that. So I do think it would be helpful. I know several of you have extensive backgrounds and have offered, but we haven't taken you up on it, to have a discussion on marketing and on membership. And, you know, if perhaps we could, you know, ask 2 or 3 of you to, join and Jim and I in at least a discussion of that. And, you know, if there's a greater surge of interest, that's even better.
Who would be
Yeah.
interested in that?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions, just to bring it back to membership also, do we have growth in our membership?
Well, when I got here, there was no membership. We didn't have a membership program. We've gotten it up to 50,000. Then COVID hit. We didn't ask anyone, we didn't market membership during COVID. We just felt that, you know, people had enough going on that, and perhaps we should have. And then, you know, it's been hard to get it back, to the level that we had it before COVID.
So did membership dropped a little bit, and then, so do we have membership like growth goals, even if it's?
But we had, you know, I have a, you know, for the budget, I put 60,000, realizing that we probably not hit 40 or 50 this year. At one point I had 75, that seemed unrealistic. You know, I did create a pyramid, you know, 2 at 2,500, 2 at, you know, 4 at 1,500, you know, and, you know, but, and, you know, I do think that there's an opportunity to do that, but I think we need some guidance as to,
So I would like to
what's, maybe.
work on, is it a subcommittee, is it a
Task
committee, is
force
it a
or-
subcommittee?
I'd be glad to.
Yeah. And maybe what it is
Yeah.
we do marketing as the higher level discussion as to how that feeds the membership program. So it doesn't.
I think
be two
a good
separate-
conversation will
Take-
show us, yeah, it's gonna show us our roadmap forward, because I think anyone who is volunteering already has ideas about it.
Yeah.
You know, we've been able to really grow our membership program at Alana. But the business side of it is mainly sponsorships. If we want visibility
advertising.
at events and yeah.
And maybe we need to have a better, you know, model for that.
Well, I also think that we have to see, you know, what value do we bring for membership is, you know, especially at this level. For business owners, you know, where's the added value for them for membership that doesn't compete with the chamber, right?
So that's the challenge. Yeah, there are, you know,
And
Hudson
part-
Business Coalition, there's a chamber.
Yeah.
And just part of that is, you know, when.
That's something we struggle with always is proving our worth, you know, for.
One of the things, I get into in my report, but, you know, I do think if we. Understanding who we are, what is our value and how does it relate to these individual members? It might be where you're marketing globally and you should be marketing in segments. And so it's some segmentation, what might be of value to, you know, one business might not be to another. And, you know, we've never really gone back after our 300 loan clients, many of whom, you know, sing our praises in a free testimonial, but, you know, could you give us 250 a year for, you know, for having.
Helping their
help
business.
At the time that we helped them.
Yeah.
Great, well, thank you. So we'll get that
Do
scheduled.
we wanna have any sort of schedule or timing goal for it, because then we're kind of like the clock is ticking.
If we could,
In terms of like.
if we could have
get it
at
on the
least,
map.
you know, if we could have a session, I know that October or September meeting is. Early,
Yeah, this
but-
fall would be.
But if we could have, 2 or 3 meetings by
Yeah.
October 31st, then we'll be in a position to, draft and print and get the letters out by November 15th, so that, you know,
That's your usual now,
Yeah.
like, okay.
that would be
Good.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Christine and Sean, Rachel, we appreciate your interest. It's critically important that this organization, in reality and in perception, be a public-private partnership. I don't think we'll ever get to the point where business contributions equal what we're receiving from the county. But there needs to be more balance than we have, so that the Board of Supervisors and other funding sources recognize that we are trying to our best to draw from the business community that we serve.
And I think that in that context, the fact that no one knew about our loan program, and the revenue it generates, it generates, $100,000 plus almost $275,000 in grant money. And then, on the other grants, when I got here, it was about 70% of our money came from the county. And my commitment to the county was to get that down closer to 50. And, we're at $1.2 million in our budget getting, we did get a bump when we were in COVID because they gave us additional funding, but that drops this year. So we'll be back to, about 50% or less than 50% of our revenue from the county. But that doesn't mean that we're not getting state, federal grants. I mean, that is, if you're looking at government funding versus private sector. Okay, this is great. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Mike, it's on to your report.
I think we worked on the most in the past few days is a $330,000 grant application to the Connect All office for their digital equity program capacity grant. We took the whole grant information and put it in AI. Ask AI is a small regional county in upstate New York with some detail of what should we apply for. And they came up with 4 areas. One, work on a program to make increase awareness and usage of broadband to seniors was one. People with disabilities was another. Online healthcare was a third. And one was the fourth was to set up a program to train people in coding. And, we had some experience in that and start to find people to participate, and others are doing that at college now. And then the last one was create a program that would enable small businesses not only to get training and develop skills in using software and things that you would then apply on the internet, as well as cybersecurity. So I decided that we would put in an application, and obviously whether we accept the grant at the time would be based on a board approval in partnership with Greene County and with the college. So that because one of the requirements in the grant was that you have partnerships, strong partnerships, and I felt that the 2 counties support the college, and we have about 2,000 businesses. They have about 1,400 businesses. And basically, it would be an extension of the technical assistance that we get under the SBA grant, because we have $150,000 of the 330 budgeted to hire technical assistants to provide direct services to businesses. But we're calling it the Columbia and Greene County Small Business Digital Literacy. It will assist entrepreneurs to develop essential tech skills for modern business operations through training, technical proficiency, information literacy, cybersecurity, and online communication. And they asked for an example of why we were doing this. And I didn't mention the name, but it's Vaslow's. And Kate told me halfway through COVID that she thought they were going to go out of business. And her grandson got her on the internet, and they now sell more candy on the internet than they sell in the store. And so I was trying to find something that fit into this capacity program that fit our mission. We could only put in 3 letters of support. So I had the Greene County, I made up stationery for Greene and Columbia County Chamber. And I have both of them signed. So we have the 2 chambers on board. We have Greene County Economic Development, and we have the college. And we listed all of our other partners, the Workforce Investment Board, the New York Works, and a host of other people. But, it'll be interesting to see, we wanted to craft something that provided capacity, the use of the internet and broadband to build capacity for businesses. So we're optimistic. One of the other reasons we did this was, you may recall, we had submitted a grant 2 years ago And were awarded $120,000 over a 2-year period. Under the digital equity grant process. And, you know, that was designed for much more, touch and feel stuff. It was healthcare, it was going to be veterans, it was going to be other groups. Our money had been allocated by the state. Other funds had been allocated by the federal government. This grant was actually, being reissued because, the federal funds were canceled. And so, there will be competition from people who previously got an award, but had been bumped. Because we've gotten now down to under 500 addresses, and of the 500 addresses that are unserved or underserved, only 3 came out of the list that one or more of the providers hadn't expressed an interest to serve. I kept putting off, moving forward with that grant because I didn't feel it was really a good use of money at that point. I mean, at the point we applied for it, we still had, 2,000 addresses. We got a call from the state asking, if we would help them with a project they're working on relating to wireless and cellular service. And Governor Cuomo had put in place a study to study cell service in the Adirondack and Catskill parks. And the state was looking for some counties outside of the park as a control for their study. And so we're working now with them to move the $120,000 grant from, it's in the same state agency, but from what we had proposed 2 years ago to doing a wireless study where we would be the pilot program of the non-Adirondack Catskill Park counties. One of the issues there is you can study wireless all you want and you can identify all the gaps. And then you go and say, let's put a tower up here and 40 to 100 people come out and say, it's not near my house, but I think we're gonna have to work closely with the Board of Supervisors in their own towns. But the ones that we've spoken to were, I think this is a good idea and a much better use of the money. We are also been working on 2 projects in the city of Hudson with our IDA. One is the Galvin project, which is behind us. It's scheduled to be completed in October, early November. They're in the process of leasing up. They are having difficulty. It's a 65 unit project. It's for 75, Chris. 65, right? 65, yeah. 20 unit or 12 units have to be for people making 80% of median income or less. The other 130 median income or less. 80 is 80% of median income right now is about $82,000 for a 2-person household. It's about 115 for 130%. People are showing up, but they also have to go through a credit evaluation. And the state recommends, or HUD, 40 times the rent as annual income. The Galvins have said we'll do 35 times the rent. And even at that, if the rent is $1,600 on a smaller unit, and you have to have $56,000 in income. Well, you're under the 80, but you're not over the 56. And so you're looking at a very narrow window of people who meet the income limitations that have been put in place by the IDA. But you can't ask a landlord to put someone in who doesn't meet the credit test because in this environment, you'll never get them out. So for the first time, we announced that the project was ready to be leased up in our newsletter. We were not marketing a private developer's project, but we did think that our involvement in it from the IDA justified that. And we're also looking into why Penrose, who is at Philadelphia and did a project in Kingston, is holding a lottery for their project. The reality is they're going to have to go far and wide to get 65 units rented. But we are working with them because there is concern on the part of the IDA that they don't somehow flip this to a market rate project because they could fill that up immediately. They would have clawbacks on all of their IDA benefits, and that would be a nightmare. The other IDA project is the J.L. Edwards School. I think I reported at our last meeting that they had wanted us to be the applicant for a grant, but we convinced the city of Hudson it was more appropriate that they were the applicant. That grant did go in, we did provide a letter of support. And the process we use there is, I get the request, I review it, give it to Jim with a recommendation, and then Riley does a letter, and so all of our letter of support come from the board chair. And I think that if it's for a grant, we generally do it. If we are steer away from weighing in at planning boards and zoning boards on local projects, our position really has been that, you know, it's home rule, and if the community is behind something, fine, but if the state wants to give someone money, it's doesn't mean the project goes forward. The Penrose project, they're applying, they only submitted their IDA application on August 5th. They need to have IDA approvals on certain aspects of the project by September 10th so that they can submit their application. The city IDA is doing everything possible to do a review of the project and determine whether they're willing to provide those approvals or not. But we've had three special meetings scheduled. We're working with a consultant, we're working with the developer. We're trying to find out from the state what exactly is needed, not what the developer thinks they need. Because it's gonna be really tough to get all this done in time, but it is going to be a project for 55 plus at 60% of median income. So, you know, people who are seniors making less than $60,000 in household income. But, you know, if you think about that, you know, that for two people, the average social security is $45,000. They're still gonna have a gap. So, you know, part of, and that's where they're getting 60% of the project with federal and state tax credits, grants. I mean, it's when you look at what the developer's putting in, you know, it's difficult, and it's not only construction costs, it's interest rates. But so Chris and I have been talking about, you know, how do we solve the housing crisis? We just keep working at it and hope that, you know, people 65 to 100 people move in there. Then there's 65 or 100 beds opening up other places, and we can do it that way.
Like Providence Hall people would maybe qualify for this place.
Yeah, well, the thing with Providence Hall is you have a Section 8 voucher.
Yeah.
I don't know that they're gonna, that's not the model here. But so, you know, I think getting ready for the county fair, we'll put a plug in for the fair. We are, the only things we sponsor is Winter Walk and the county fair. They draw, you know, they're really economic drivers, if you will. Other not-for-profit organizations, we have to tell them that our funding sources and members give us money to promote our mission, not yours. Because you could go, you could spend $25,000 or $30,000 on from little leagues to colleges and hospitals. No. So we, Martha and Steve are working on the Kinderhook grant program. We did convince the Village of Philmont in their New York Forward application to include a $300,000 small business grant program. Chris has been working on the county land bank and the county housing task force. We've been seeing an influx of interest from private developers. And you know, one of the focuses that we're looking at now is hosting an online housing forum in early to mid-October. And our plan would be to have Darren Scott from the state, possibly Kevin O'Connor from RUPCO, and not to overuse him, which I'll mention in a minute, but, Adam Bosch from Patterns for Progress. And we've done this now 3 times and, it's gone over well. The size of the county is such that it's easier for this type of topic to be done online than to have people try to drive from New Lebanon to the college or from Gallatin to north. We have a couple of projects at County IDA. One of the programs Amanda has invited us to participate in, which has been held before, is a Columbia Green County Education and Workforce Forum. Maybe you
It's
could-
an economic and workforce state of the counties event. It's really going to tie into the workforce development board's initiatives for the fall to set a tone for the coming year on the kind of the labor market data, the state of our local economies and our businesses. Our events for the next few months from the workforce perspective are really focused on employers, local employers, because we know what a struggle they're having in training and retaining the workforce. So we thought this was a really great way to set the tone, bringing in both of the economic development corporations from both sides of the river and myself. As Mike mentioned, we were able to, thanks to Mike, get Adam Bosch from Patterns for Progress to be the keynote speaker. We're going to be really framing the conversation under the umbrella of a lot of the federal regulations that are coming out and how they're not only impacting our employers, but the customers that the workforce system serves, and how we can kind of come up with a plan to start mitigating some of the issues that we see coming. Our whole fall, we're also in partnership with the Columbia Green Addiction Coalition and Reentry Columbia for a broader scope of events, this being the first. In October, we're holding a poverty simulation in collaboration with the community action agencies of New York State and both Green and Columbia County block grant recipients are going to be involved in that. It's a place for employers to go through. You get a card, you get basically a framework of your situation. And you have to see, kind of the barriers you face as you're applying for a job, as you're grabbing your paperwork, there's a lunch break and you can't, your transportation got you to this specific office, but no one's there. And it really, I think, sets a tone for employers on how they can put supports in place on their own end to support employees that are coming in and then be able to retain them, because it's really all about recruiting and retaining employees, in the long term. November, we are working with PARSE, which is a New York State Coalition on Addiction. And we are going to be doing a panel presentation on recovery-ready workplaces. Again, we have a 20% addiction rate in this area, and a lot of employers may not even realize that their employees or their employees' family members are going through some things, that there could be some supports in place to, again, retain your employees through a challenging time. And then in December, we have a panel, and it's kind of, I think, adding on to some of the things that the counties have already done, where we're going to be talking about employment law and clean slate and working with justice impacted employees. It's all about, an employer's and a business's bottom line, but if you don't have a workforce, you're not going to be able to operate. So we want to start the conversation with a real, just looking at the data from our local area, where we stand, our population, our current workforce, and how, we can then support employers through.
And it's September 24th. We're meeting this week to get final marketing.
Yeah,
go
it
out
will be
Tuesday.
at college in the cafeteria. We invite everyone to come, all of our businesses in the area, like I said, especially if you're data people, it'll be a fun presentation. We're gonna talk about housing, all of this.
And you'll remember Adam spoke at one of our annual meetings and has done a great job with us for us on other events. I did send him an email with the subject line, CEDC imposition request number 3, 2025. And he said he would be glad to do it. He has a lot to say about current environment for economic development, job attraction, retention and growth, housing development. And he's gonna be the keynote speaker, and then there'll be a panel.
You guys did that during COVID right, and
right after COVID.
it was excellent.
Yeah.
Like, very eye-opening.
Yeah.
So we'll get the broader perspective and.
And this is
then,
an
like,
event that's
names
better
on
in person.
dial.
Yeah, no, it was
Uh,
really eye-opening when they did that a couple of years ago.
I also have been meeting with Jessica Whalen, the new executive director of Hudson Development Corporation. Over time, so we've been asked to do things that really are bailiwick, but they weren't really, as active as, we hope they will be now under, Jessica's, leadership. And, they do have, almost $3 million in the bank from the CAS sale. And, she's got some ideas. I think it's an opportunity to partner where one of their focuses is arts, culture, and tourism. And, obviously Hudson is the center of that attraction, and then it, fans out into the county. And I think, again, a place where someone can take the lead and we can be a partner, sponsor, or supporter, like we're doing with Workforce. I think, it meets the sense of the board that we can't be the lead on everything. We're, as I said, we're gonna take half of Friday off, to get ready for the new year, and, come Tuesday, buckle up, everybody. Get your new, school clothes and sneakers and, backpack, and, we'll be ready to go for the next season. Any questions?
No, I'm sure all of you have reviewed the balance sheet and financial statement. Mike, is there anything specific you wanted to?
The
bring our
balance
attention?
sheet, obviously it shows an increase of $250,000 of that relates to funds that were drawn down under the Office of Community Renewal Loan Grant Program, where we have to book it as a grant and as a asset and a liability as we loan it out. And the other increase is the result of additional funding from the SBA. Again, it's a pretty stable, quiet balance sheet, but it does show how dependent we are on, at least on the balance sheet side. But the federal loan money and other state grants, but it's a net zero. When we go up because of them and we go down. We do have, we still have the land up on Route 9H on the books that we're holding for the county. The county IDA just sold a $50,000 1-acre parcel to Harpus Development for their new facility at the Commerce Center. The Board of Supervisors, at my request, passed a resolution directing the IDA to transfer the proceeds of that sale to CEDC for future economic development activity. And we're hoping to work with the IDA and the airport authority. One of the owners of property in the Commerce Center needs more land, and we're trying to see if we can carve out another acre without interfering with the easements that relate to the airport runway. It's Columbia 10. They need some more space, and we're hoping we can get an acre without wetlands or airport right-of-ways. On the income statement, again, we're a little bit behind on administrative revenue because of the timing of IDA deals closing, but I think that's a timing issue, and we'll catch up. Obviously, we're zeroed out on the income from the county. Good to have a client that has cash. We can see our bank interest. We underestimated what we would have in the bank in terms of interest from deposits, but that's washed out by the interest income on the loan program. On our expense side, we're down on expenses in every category except grant expenses, and it's up $12,000. That's something we need to look at going forward. We received a $300,000 grant from the state last year. but one of the grantees was, did not complete all of the paperwork, so they didn't get the grant until 2025, and we should have accrued that, so that would have washed out. But, you know, every other category, except that one, and SBA interest expense, is under budget. Total under budget $72,000. And if you look at employee expense, we're down 51 because we only filled the position that we had intended for 3 months. And after the employee left, we didn't refill it. So again, the budget if I take the 7 months, January to July, at actual and add the budget numbers for August to December on a projection basis, we're well ahead of the net projected. And with the budget for next year, I'm covering not only having a half year employee CEO as opposed to consultant CEO, and as well as some other items, which we'll get to the finance committee and then to you for in time for Lisa to have approval by October for our Paris report.
Questions or comments on the treasurer's report? Is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. The minutes of the July 29th meeting. Any questions? Any revisions?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. There's a contractual matter that I need to have the board discuss in executive session. If I could have a motion to do that.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay.
Recording in progress.
So the board has completed its executive session, and I'll entertain a motion to.
Make a motion. Agreement between Tucker and us, and the whole increase.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. Any members of the public with us today? Doesn't appear so, but we're always interested in your feedback, whether at our meetings or in between our meetings. So we hope you'll speak up if there's an issue or a question you have. Looking ahead to next month, the executive committee meets on September 16th. Loan committee, September 22nd. The board meeting is the last Tuesday, September 30th. I think that's it. Any members of the board with anything else to bring to the good of the order?
Just want to thank everyone for being here, because we know everyone's really busy, and even though it's one little meeting, it actually is in the way of everyone else's lives, and it's hard to get people to show up. So I just want to personally thank everyone for showing up. I know Lisa needs a quorum, and I'm sensitive to that too. So thank you. It's very appreciated.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
And I think
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
and I think, you know, the entire staff and I feel that, you know, we're doing good work, but we couldn't do it without the guys